Okay, take two. I have been MIA for a couple of weeks. Sorry about that, but I'm back now and I'm reviewing Madame Bovary. Now, I know I said I was going to do Doolittle, and Doolittle I will do Doolittle soon, but I wanted to go in and because I actually did a little, Madame Bovary came across the screen and I just could not resist watching it. The 1939 version of Madame Bovary. As I was doing my little research, looking up the movie and, the backgrounds and everything, I saw a 2014 version of Madame Bovary. So I had to watch that, right? And the book. Had to just rummage through that. And let me tell you, if you want to have a real conversation with a person that you're thinking about being in a relationship with, or even a person that you've been in a relationship with, watch this movie. It touches on everything: money management, egotism, attention, what type of attention, goal setting, differences in age, all kinds of good conversations to have. Credit. What does credit mean to you? Children. Are children a thing? What type of lifestyle do you want to live? Most of the time, we get into these relationships and, we think that we're thinking the same way, but nah. Madame Bovary is a good conversation starter. It's a good date night movie. Right now, it's on Turner Classic Movies on demand, and then there's another one on the Tubi channel. I don't really endorse things, but this movie needs to be endorsed. Now, I want to tell you, it's two different versions that are currently on film. The 1939 version was directed by a man, obviously 1939. The woman dress. She was the extreme in dressing, like very revealing, even in 1939. Just, the cleavage, the clavicle of it all, right? But then in 2014, she was more conservative to the time, but it highlighted different things. So both of them, if you're going to watch it, I would say, especially if you have a significant other, watch both versions. Watch the one that was directed by a man in 1939, take it into context, and then compare it to the one in 2014. My take on it is, I liked both movies. I think both movies have her totally misunderstood. She is a silly woman. I'm saying silly women. I'm a silly woman myself, but not to that extent. Yeah, she's a silly woman. She gets lost in, her own selfishness, her own ego. This is another movie about ego. Most movies, I think, are about the ego, obviously. But the need to fulfill some selfish desire. I asked my husband, what would make a woman? What is the thing that makes a woman who at one point committed her life to the Lord, was raised in went to school in a convent, then all of a sudden decide to essentially become a hoe? A freak. Well, are you a hoe if you don't do it for money? Like, are you doing it for free? Like, is that whorish? Are you still a hoe if you do it for free? What is that called if you're a free hoe? I don't know. Is it still a hoe? I don't know. But anyway, bottom line is, Madame Bovary was out there doing the most. And I would not say that she was a smart woman. Although she went to school. She knew how to read and play the piano. She was a cultured woman. She liked beautiful things. She did not play her position very well. There was some really bad turns on her behalf. But I also think that it was some really bad turns on the people in her life, from the people in her life, that let her down. I said more than once that I think, she was young when she got married, so we got to factor into the fact that she was very young, like a teenage age, marrying this doctor who was a country doctor. And I think age definitely played a role in it. I also think Madame Bovary, innocence and her 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 lack of exposure to the real world. I mean, you raised in a convent, and then you go to the country, and then even in a country town, you got wolves out there trying to take advantage of you, and that's essentially what happened. I think the men in her life, i.e., her husband, fumbled the ball more than once. Like, he fumbled. Like, it was some situations where he really could have. He could have been a little bit romantic of a man. Like, just romance is a thing. Like, men, it's Valentine's Day coming up. Believe it. Valentine's romance, no matter what the woman is. And romance is not about buying stuff. Like, please stop that. Although I like shiny shit. I like my jewels and my stuff. That's not romance. Romance, you have to know your woman to know what she understands romance to be. Not every woman is the same, right? Sometimes it's as simple as holding your hand. Sometimes it's taking that bra off at the end of a working day. Hell, sometimes I mean, shit. Sometimes it's a conversation. Sometimes it's a compliment. You have to know what your particular woman likes and to define as romance. Not all of us do it the same way, and some women, don't define it. And some women really do define it as paying their bills. Like, ain't nothing more romantic than that. But you have to know what truly speaks to her heart. Like, what are the things that speak to her? And I don't think Madame Bovary's husband understood the type of woman that she was. I think he was caught up in her beauty, and he assumed that she should be happy if she just has pretty things, and it was bigger than that. Like, she needed a little bit more outlet. But this is another film where, the woman was a victim also of the time that she was living in. She's running from man to man, expecting the man to help her gain money. And here I sit on my couch in 2020 looking at her like, sis, I got a million ways to get it. You ain't gotta keep running to these men for money. Although, it's not right to assume that you need somebody else to pay your debt, which she created a big debt in both versions of the film. There was a debt that had to be paid, and it's really sad. At the end of the day, it was a sad movie, but it's definitely something that as a new couple, you should talk about. Anyway, I know this went a little long. I missed a couple of weeks. I'm trying to get better, y'all. It's a challenge. If you know me, then you know what I'm going through, and you know that these videos help me out a lot, knowing that I need to do this. And yeah, talk to me. What is Madame Bovary to you? Have you watched it? Have you watched it with your significant other? What do you think about materialism? And also, there was a lot going on in this movie. Talk to me, somebody.